gonna go ahead and pull the squirter on the. We're gonna pull the squirter off of the carburetor. I think the problem we were having last time, as you saw, was the accelerator pump. I don't think it's the diaphragm. I think it's just old fuel that sat in this carburetor for a couple years, and it clogged up the squirter. So we're gonna pull that out, spray it out with WD-40. Hopefully that fixes the problem, unclogs it, and then pull this thing out, do a burnout, and then fix a couple other little issues that I found. So, this squirter is an Allen key. So let me go grab an Allen key and I'll pull this piece out and see if any of that is clogged up. But actually, I can probably see here. That squirter's working pretty good. I bet it's a diaphragm. Oh, the gasket fell to pieces, so that's good. That squirter should be squirting, it's not. So, this arm here, come to this side, you can see. This is really loose. It should not be that loose. However, if I back this all the way off, it barely puts pressure on that diaphragm or on that arm. So my worry is that, like, see that arm's not returning, but if I push on the back of the arm, it returns. So I think that diaphragm's goner. So, looks like your dad was right. Oh, just got off the phone with Benny, and I think he either has one or I know where I can get one. I'd probably just run up to O'Reilly's and grab a diaphragm. But we need to pull the carb regardless. I think the damn diaphragm's cracked. And then we'll kind of assess the damage from there. And I also think I found out why the throttle linkage was acting so weird. I think we bent the throttle linkage somewhere somehow, or it's a cheap throttle linkage bracket off of Amazon, so I probably just need to go ahead and replace it. But let's go ahead and get this carburetor off. I'm gonna go ahead and put this squirter back on so I don't lose it, because I will.
What?
Righty-tighty just turned to righty-loosey on that. I was trying to be very careful of that, and it still did it. There was probably something in here, probably a burr or something. It kind of got tight halfway down, so I backed it out and re-pushed it in there and felt it get a little snug. Got a little nervous, so I went over here to this one that I know is good and tight. Felt it, okay, yeah, it's tight. Go over there, put the same amount of pressure in it, just pulled the threads out of the journal here, or what do you want to call it, the hole. And it screws on, catches a couple threads, but does not get tight. I can push down on it and try to grab a thread, and then it's catching, but it's not getting tight. One thing after another. All good though. Let's see if the diaphragm's the problem though, before I get too ahead of myself. See, that one's tighter than the other one. Really.
That's what they do. Like stick them and blowing through these to make sure
Mm-hmm.
they're clear. Just go ahead and take that other bowl off.
You guys.
Pull it clean inside there anyways, just to make sure.
But
Let me go down there and see if we got A longer one will work. I screwed it in there and snugged it a while ago.
Yeah.
We could make a longer one work if we find a longer one. If not, you're gonna have to figure out the thread size on that. We'll have to drill that, tap it, and put a helix coil in it, which is not uncommon. See, that's. I mean, you can snug it just a little bit, but they need to have a little bit of slack. That one over there is like already set on it.
Yeah.
So it needs to be backed off a little bit, so it's not already open.
You can see here, you almost go up and down with it a whole lot,
Yeah.
and it's returning with it, which it never did that before. So now,
Especially being on the front squirter. People time it as coming in, so I mean, you might still have to adjust a little bit once it's in there, but that one over there, I think that one's pretty tight, ain't it?
yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. Benny came over and fixed our accelerator pump problem. That's all good now. Just had a bunch of trash in it. That's how these things go. But the thing that I messed up, I'm just calling it my fault, I don't really know, is that the threads in there are stripped out. Didn't think I put that much pressure on them, a little T-tap, but anyway, they're gone. So I either need to put a helix coil in it, which is probably our best option at the moment. I don't know if they make an oversized screw for the squirter, and then I gotta bore out the squirter, and I don't think that's an option. So we're gonna go and see if we can find either a longer screw or a helix coil that might fit over at Benny's, and see if we can put this thing back together. If not, I might need to order one, and that'll delay this video even more. So that's what we kind of got to work with. See you in a second. You're gonna see him come by and the cops come right back by.
Yeah, you know that old.
Okay, so we're back. We had to take the carburetor to a machine shop to get a helix coil that was special. I know most of these size 12s are 12 by 24 pitch. For whatever reason, this carburetor, it's 12 by 28 for the squirters. Whenever I went to tighten it down, I'm sure you can see in the video, righty-tighty turned to righty-loosey, so it pulled the threads out of it. So now we got a new helix coil put in. 3 days later, we can finally put it back on the car after the fixes were made to the accelerator pump, and hopefully this thing will start up, run properly now, not load up, and maybe it'll actually do a burnout. Let's get it put on. Well, that sucks. So what we did, I guess, did not fix it. It worked perfectly off of the car. Whenever I was off the car testing it, it works fine. But for whatever reason, whenever you bolt it onto the car, so this is our good one. This arm hooks up to the accelerator pump arm. So whenever you push this down, it follows it back up, and there's no slack. And there's a little bit of play there, but that's what we need. But that arm springs right back up and follows it. On the other side, whenever we start pushing on this one, it's real stiff. When you let go, it doesn't follow the arm back up, and I have to physically push it back up. But if I push it back down, it stays pinned down. And we checked the diaphragm, we checked everything we could. There was no holes in the diaphragm. Cleaned out the squirter, even though the squirter broke. I don't know. So maybe we just need to change the diaphragm anyway. Maybe it's a bent arm catching somewhere. It only happens whenever you bolt it down to the car. So something's acting weird. Maybe it's because when you bolt it down, maybe there's a little bit of flex in the carburetor and it puts something in a bind. I am not sure. But I'm sure we will find out, but we gotta tear it back apart. That doesn't sound good. Old Benito is having trouble with his truck. I think we got it, if I don't drop parts. So, the back of the new throttle bracket, didn't realize it was touching the bowl, or the bottom of the bowl, and causing the arm not to come up. It's kind of out of the way, out of sight. I thought it cleared, but it didn't. So we put a couple washers underneath it, now it clears. Hopefully, now it'll do what it's supposed to. So, just need to hook up the battery and try to crank it, see if it's going to do anything. So now it's running really weird, but that's because we were messing with the carburetor whenever that arm was being pushed down. So now it's either got too much fuel or it's too lean. Don't know. I'm just going to start it from scratch. I'm going to start over here. All the way in. So, 1, 2, 3. Turn this out. It's a good starting point. We're gonna have to see. I'll try to keep it alive. Leaking oil. I'm gonna try to fireproof my arm for a second.
Well, that ain't gonna work.
You don't think so?
No.
Why?
It's in paper towel.
I just need it to not burn me for like 2 seconds while I push that thing in. So any little bit of protection helps. When I stick my arm down there. Got it. See? No burnt arm, and it definitely touched me. And that stuff is scalding. So, before we can do a burnout in my car, Benny's truck broke down. His alternator failed. So we're gonna try to try.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah, that turbo leaks oil.
Oh, that's the one that was leaking.
Yeah. Which it doesn't grip anymore. It's just the backside leaks now because I fixed the front side. Alright. So, last time we had the car out, we pulled it out here, tried to do a burnout, and it was falling on its face again. Just got to do a little more carburetor tuning. However, I also think because we do not have the vent tube extensions in the carburetor, that whenever the air comes up here and it goes straight into the carburetor, it's missing a lot of potential to pressurize the bowls, which is causing us to basically lean out and for it to fall on its face. So I think today, before we try any more carburetor tuning, I need to go ahead and make some vent tube extensions. I think I just need to run to parts store and grab some fuel line and then make that real quick, and then we should be able to see if it'll act different. But these are all things that are going to come to fruition within time. So let's go ahead and knock that out. So I need to chop these down quite a bit. I love how even they came out though, because I just guessed. I'm gonna have to hit it with a hammer. Alright, so here's the deal. It's been a few days, so now we're finally jumping back on the car. We've taken a little break. The steering shaft was sitting loose in there, and whenever you turn the car, the shaft from the rack and pinion was actually going too far in and rubbing on the knuckle. So it was binding up and not letting it turn very smoothly. And that was because we didn't have pins in it. So finally got the screws, pins, whatever you want to call them, to finally hold it in the right place. And I can adjust where the rack sits, so that way it'll actually steer correctly and not bind up, which is pretty critical. Same up here. Oh yeah, smooth as butter now. No touching, no scraping, none of that. Oh, that was scaring me for a little bit. Sweet. Make sure she's extra tight because I prefer living. We are going to need to replace that bolt though, because that does not make me feel very confident. Yeah, we're gonna change that. Because all these have, might even change that one out because it's in the nylock, but it doesn't make me feel very safe. All these are in the nylock, and this one's just a bolt on that. So we'll change all those out. And then I need to order a freaking oil or a trans cooler. We just had that loop in there while we've been running it. So we're gonna need to figure out where we need to put a trans cooler. Where am I gonna put it? I do not know yet. Also need to chop these off. Now that we've closed in the bar here, at the very end, we need to chop the ends off, cap them, weld them. And that should be the end of messing with the chassis for good. But what I've noticed is if you'll step back a little bit, you can see that possibly that this tire hangs lower than this tire. Even though they're the same droop, they got the same amount of shaft showing. This one hangs down, I think it's closer to 1 inch than this one. That's because the cup on this side sits a little higher, so it doesn't get the same amount of travel. So we're gonna have to kind of fight through that. I know that's gonna be a problem later. But as of right now, I'm not too worried about it. Just as long as we don't go full, I mean, we're gonna go full travel at some point, but I don't feel like cutting that bar back out and lowering it down. We'll figure it out. Not worried about it. I am raising the ride height just enough to where we put a little tension on the spring at full droop, just so that we can stop scraping the ground every time we pull it out of here. We pull up asphalt and concrete. I probably should do the same to the rear. So that's probably what I'm gonna end up doing, is raising the ride height before we set this thing down. I'm just gonna run it up just enough to where it's snug, because I think that'll give us enough ride height to clear the exit out of here. So before, we were sitting on the bottom. I didn't even have these locks ran up at all. They were sitting on the bottom here. So now we've probably lifted it close to 3 inches. So this thing probably is gonna sit like a 4-wheel drive with the front end up in the air, but at least it'll clear the concrete. And then I rose the ass end up about 1 inch. So hopefully it clears. And then we need to order new springs. I'm gonna try to put like a 55 or a 60-pound spring and put it in a coil bind so we can get the low ride height and get all that stored energy so this thing will transfer really hard. But for right now, I need to stop scraping the bottom of my hot rod. So here's the problem I don't like, is it's really not bad, but there's a little more shaft showing than I'd like. And if we're gonna try to send this thing to the moon and make it go the full distance of travel, I would like to have more coil bind, so it'll bring more pressure up, but the car will sit lower. That way I can use every bit of the travel that's in the shock. But as for the rear, I needed to bring it up because it was only showing a little bit of shaft in the rear. So I needed it to be able to squat more, and I think now it will. You see what the shafts looking at back here. Oh yeah, they're looking a lot better when they see that thing. So that shock, originally, you can see that second coil. That's about how much shaft was showing before I raised it up. So now we've got double the distance, and that should be plenty to squat the car for now. And if it's not, then I'll just raise it up some more, raise the rear of the car up. That way we can transfer harder. Cool. That's not fantastic. So that V-band clamp actually just quit. It's all the way tight, bottomed out. So need to get a new one for that. But here's the deal. Just got off the phone with somebody, the tuner, hopefully it'd be. I think we're gonna end up taking this thing to his dyno, because as of right now, the O2 sensor is not working. We've changed sensors, we've changed harnesses, and it will not read. And I'm afraid to put boost to this thing and do a burnout until I know that the tune-up is right. I can get the carburetor close, but the moment we put it underneath the load and put boost to it, it acts a little funny, so I'd rather know that our O2 is working, and that way we can put safeties in place. That way I don't just go ahead and hurt the motor. So that being that, we're probably going to take it to his place sometime next week, I hope. Put it on the dyno, run this thing, and know that it's going to make power. Try to figure out all the bugs that are with it, including this leaking turbo. And yeah. Alright, so we got the car in the trailer. We're actually just going to take this thing to Ruston. I got a few things I need to do before I take it to him. I'm going to take it to my work tomorrow and try to put in a transmission cooler, because right now it's just got a transmission loop. Put the cooler in, take it to Ruston,